Hey everybody, welcome to episode 191 on a hump day during the middle of the week. Here we are. How you doing, Denise?
I am doing great. I am awesome, actually.
Right?
I'm so glad to be here on this Wednesday. Is this thing working, everybody?
Good question to ask.
Ain't it? Because the DNC going on day 2 yesterday, it didn't look like it was working very well. The only thing they could think of to talk about was President Trump.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. I guess the only thing that is working in the DNC during this week right now is the gaslighting and the lie machine, man. That is strong and in full gear. If you've paid any attention to this crap at all, man, you'll see it. And so if you haven't been paying attention to it, we're going to give you a little tidbit here and there, man. Let you see for yourself.
Exactly. So we got that to talk about today. And then things are happening in our elections. Wow. I mean, the elections in 2020, they were all crazy. We all know this. So we got a little bit of information to go over there. And President Trump, some little stuff to talk about him. But Florida had elections yesterday. So we're going to go over that too.
Yep.
You just hang on all the way to the very end. But first, we're going to pay a little bills.
We would like to welcome our new sponsor to Is This Thing Working? So help us welcome Cornbread Hemp. Their mission is to draw on Kentucky's 250-year legacy of growing hemp, as well as the state's unique climate and soil, to manufacture the highest quality cannabis products available in America. They proudly offer full-spectrum, USDA organic CBD products with up to 2 milligrams of THC per serving. Their plants are grown in what's known as the Bluegrass Basin, which produces the highest quality hemp alongside the best bourbon and fastest racehorses. Cornbread Hemp is one of the very few, if not only, CBD brands in America who exclusively use the hemp flower to create their CBD extract, called Flower Only CBD, and they want the world to know.
Please check out Cornbread Hemp by going to cornbreadhemp.com right now for a 30% off your initial purchase of any products on the website. Again, go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code ITTW for this special offer. Remember, you get 30% off, promo code ITTW.
And as always, thank you for supporting our sponsor, and please click that link below. Also, we want to state this show is our assertions, they're our opinions, we own them. If you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show.
And if you don't agree with us, tell your friends and share the show. Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms like Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Also, don't forget, download that Rumble app so you can follow our show. You'll receive instant notifications when we go live every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
That's right, because we're here in Texas, and that's where we're at, central part of the country. And we got first up, Bannon, who has been a political prisoner of the Biden and Harris administration for 50 days. So we ask you today, as we do every single day, what is your task and purpose? Well, one of them is to always be informed and please become engaged. We have given you tools to help you become informed and be engaged. And we're going to list them right here. Call to action.
Yep. We have a call to action today. As always, continue to call your House of Representative members and your senators. Call them each and every day. House number 202-224-3121. Senate number 202-225-3121, and tell them, let them know the J6 committee, that is the reason Steve Bannon is jailed. That is the reason that Peter Navarro was jailed. That committee was illegitimate. That committee served no purpose. So call them, let them know this.
Yeah, and we had some news this morning.
Yeah, we did. We had a good piece of news. Grace Chong posted on Twitter this morning, or X, that she said, please keep Steve Bannon in your prayers. We're working on an early release. Though it's still uncertain, it's a long shot, but your prayers are powerful. And I couldn't agree more. Prayers are powerful. Let's keep them going, man.
Yes, we need Steve Bannon. Free Steve Bannon today.
Let me
we
tell
need
you,
him out.
And not only him, we need every J6 prisoner that's being held right now to be released. Every one of them. They did nothing wrong.
No, they didn't. And then we watch the DNC and what's going on down there and all of the riots and all of the cops and, how they're protected from all the people, It's disgusting to watch, man.
Exactly. And we always tell you, like she said earlier, be informed and be engaged. And you hear that and you go, well, what does that mean, be informed and be engaged? Look, be informed, read, research, see the things that are happening, be engaged. Man, I don't know how I can become engaged in all of this. I'm just me. I can't run up there and demand that they release Steve Bannon out of jail. I can't go and demand that they elect President Trump to be the next president of the United States. I can't demand these things. Yes, that may be true, but there are a lot of things you can do. And like Denise said, we've give you tools, man. We've give you the tools. We've give you the resources. These tools and resources, I'm going to repeat them again for you. www.protectthevote.com, www.turnoutfortrump.com, www.trumpforce47.com, and www.believers.donaldjtrump.com. Man, go to those websites, look at what they've got, look at the organizations, and I guarantee you they can find a spot for you to help along the way and become engaged.
Yeah, and you don't even have to get out of your house. A lot of it's phone calls. And you can call, like if you're in Texas, you can call folks in Georgia. They'll give you lists and they'll give you an app of people even around your area that, might need to be canvassed. Maybe you can talk them into becoming a voter. There's a lot of voters out there. There's a lot of people out there that have tuned out. So if you go to them and you talk to them and tell them, hey, this is what's going on. And, man, we really need your help. Maybe that will work. Phone calls, just calling people. I know there's a lot of spam calls going on and stuff like that, but you might reach one or two people. It's very, very important. This election is so important. It's one of the most important elections ever, because if the Democrats get back in there, it's over, folks. It's over.
Man, and if you, like we said at the start, if you've been paying attention to any of the speakers at the DNC, they're pretty much telling you what they're going to do.
Yes.
So pay attention, man. Be informed.
That's right. That's exactly right. And watch it. Watch what's going on. And the elections in Florida, for example, we paid attention to those yesterday. There was elections in Florida, in Alaska, and in Wyoming. But we're going to go over the main ones that really we were worried about. Well, not so much worried about as, there was people going against some of our, our MAGA candidates.
Our Trump-endorsed candidates. That's right. But and look at this. If nothing else, man, the results of the primary from Florida is really telling, man. And I hope that this is the true pulse of the nation right here. And I believe that it is. Regardless of what Fox tries to tell you on their polls, regardless of those others, this right here speaks volumes. Matt Gaetz won his election by a percentage of 72.6% of the votes compared to Dimmock, who got 27%. Kate Kammack, she won at 87.1% to 12% from Stevens. Waltz got 82% of the vote. I mean, really, it just goes on, and you see the people.
The huge difference.
The huge difference.
People are wanting MAGA candidates.
And basically the only two districts, District 8 and District 9, that had three candidates in it, still, even, you had a 72% to 21% margin. The closest one was Chalafox and Quinones at 49.6%, 25.7% for Quinones, and Castillo got 24%. So that District 9 was pretty heated, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then we're going to go up against the Democrats. And what really shocked me a little bit about what's going on with the Democrats is they're having a turnout problem. Okay, so I look at the numbers that happened in the Republicans, and then you look at the numbers here on the Democrat side, and there's way less. So really, it just it makes me happy
Yeah.
to see that the conservatives are going, hey, we got this.
Yeah.
We're going to, I mean, and the Democrats, they're kind of disappointed in their party, I believe. And there's a lot of Democrats out there. They're not going to vote for this. They're not going to vote for ruining America. And, and, you know, the economy and the border, the number 2 issues, that matters to every American.
Yes.
Whether you're Republican or Democrat.
That's exactly right. It does, man. Well, and think about Rick Scott's statewide Senate election, primary election. You know, it showed that there was like 1.2 million voters across the state that voted for him as compared to a 700,000 that voted against his opponent. So you see the differences, man.
I mean, it's a big difference. So Republicans are turning out. You know, we continue to say, you know, there's not that much of a turnout, but actually, if you look at the numbers, even throughout the whole primary season, you can see who's turning out the most. And they continue to say that Republicans, they're just not engaged. But I see that you are. I see that you're becoming engaged, and we thank you so much for everything that you're doing. All of the grassroots efforts, every bit of the phone calls, everything, but it takes every one of us, and we need more. We need more. And President Trump yesterday,
we need everybody to be a Scott Pressler. That's what we need, man.
We need Scott Presslers everywhere. Hat tip Scott Pressler. He works very hard.
Yes, he does.
Very hard for these elections. And President Trump come out and talked about elections yesterday. And he said this on Truth Social. U.S. citizens are allowed to vote, but illegals are not. If I win the election, anyone caught cheating for any reason will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And that includes Democrat operatives and sleazebags who cheat at levels never seen before. No more games for you. This is what we're fighting. We're fighting the Democrat machine. And they don't care about the cheating. All they care about is power. They don't care about your vote and that you're an American and that they've brought in all these illegals to vote. And we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about a couple of elections, a couple of states that they're trying to make this legal. But what I thought was interesting is what's been talked about the past couple of days, and we have not mentioned it.
Yeah. Kind of give it the Bongino rule, 3 days to see what takes place, and it looks like this is pretty well going to happen.
Fox News was talking about it this morning. I was like raising my eyebrows going, wow.
And I think it's a smart move on both sides, man. I really do. Report from the great Jim Hoft at Gateway Pundit. He says RFK Jr. is set to drop out and endorse President Trump this Friday. Sources reveal potential NIH director or attorney general aspirations.
I like the NIH better than I like the Attorney General, even though I do believe one of the reasons why he ran for president is to fix
the NIH and the vaccine mandates and that kind of thing.
And to fix our government.
Yeah.
FBI
no doubt.
and all that. So,
no doubt.
You know,
doubt.
But I have my own people that I think should be there, and they should be full MAGA. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, Jim reported that the Gateway Pundit said on Tuesday that RFK Jr.'s running mate, Nicole Shanahan, announced on the Impact Theory platform that they're contemplating dropping out of the presidential race to endorse Donald Trump, and that this decision comes in the face of relentless sabotage from the Democrat Party, which has resorted to underhanded tactics to dismantle their campaign. During her interview, Shanahan expressed frustration over the obstacles that they faced. What are they? She outlined 2 potential paths. You either continue their campaign and risk splitting the vote, potentially paving the way for a Harris and Walz presidency, or you join forces with President Trump. That's what I've been saying all along. MAGA ain't going nowhere. Our votes aren't going anywhere. You're not going to convince anybody that is truly about America first. You're not going to convince any one of them, I don't believe, to vote any other way. The people that we've been needing to reach are those in the middle.
The independents.
The independents.
And we welcome you.
And if President Trump and RFK can show common ground and unity on these things, man, that's gonna be a big factor in this, man. Because I don't care, like you said earlier, it's not a D, an R, or an I issue. Hey, man, when you go to the grocery store, that checkout line doesn't ask you what your political affiliation is so that they can adjust your prices so you can be happy.
Yeah, they don't do that.
They don't do that. So, to me, $4, $5 a gallon gas, your groceries up 27 to 30% on average. Your electric bills are up. All these different things, these affect each and every one of us, man.
I know. And the thing is, what gets me is the Democrats are all about quotes. My fingers are up here in quotes, democracy. And what Shanahan says in the article, she points out, she says they have banned us. They have shadow banned us. They have kept us off stages, used lawfare against us, sued us in every possible state. They even planted insiders into our campaign. This is who we're fighting, folks.
Dirty politics.
Dirty politics.
Yeah.
Not even allowing, because he at first was running against Biden on the party, and they just kicked him out. They wouldn't let, him do anything because they know that he probably could have gotten the nomination over Biden anytime.
If fair was fair, when President Trump and Biden got to debate that night, they could have and should have had RFK there because, in a lot of people's minds, RFK is a serious contender.
Yes, he is, especially on the Democrat side. And I wanted to say one more thing before we move on from President Trump here. By the way, President Trump will be on Fox and Friends in the morning. So if you want to catch him there talking to Brian, you can go and listen to Brian trying to shut him up on many things, whatever you decide you want to do.
And another interesting interview that came out was President Trump and Theo Vaughn.
No, that was funny.
That I've only seen clips of. I want to see the whole thing. Probably.
So
we
want to watch the whole thing, then
too.
probably bring you a clip or two, maybe tomorrow. We've only seen clips of it, but I want to see the whole thing. We just hadn't had a chance to sit down and watch that.
Experience the ultimate shipping solution with Easy Ship. Are you tired of navigating complex logistics and wasting valuable time? Say goodbye to the stress of shipping and hello to simplicity with Easy Ship. Our intuitive platform allows you to compare rates from leading carriers, schedule pickups with ease, and track your shipments in real time, all in one place. Whether you're a small business owner looking to optimize your shipping process or an individual sending a gift to a loved one, Easy Ship has you covered. Our user-friendly interface puts the power of efficient shipping at your fingertips, saving you time and money. Don't let shipping challenges hold you back. Try Easy Ship today and discover a new level of convenience and reliability. Visit EasyShip.com now to get started.
Click the link below. So, the Vigilant Fox on X came out with the 10 most embarrassing moments of the DNC.
So far.
Of
day two.
So, we want to go over that with you because we thought it kind of give the whole, the vibe of the day.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Number 10, starting with number 10. Bernie Sanders calls out the DNC to its face. In quotes, he says, billionaires in both parties should not be able to buy elections, including primary elections. And then all of a sudden, Biden isn't running and Harris is.
Yeah, I guess to use a phrase with RFK, they were trying to Bernie him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. They did Bernie him. And he's out of money is what I hear. So he's going to have to do something.
Yeah. And if anybody had a right to stand up in front of that group of people last night and say that, it is Bernie Sanders.
Yes. Yeah, he's been Bernie Sanders a lot. He has been. They have thrown him away.
Number 9, Kamala preaches it's outdated, wrong, and backward to think that more police creates safety.
Meanwhile, her convention looks like a police state.
Well, it
is.
It got pretty wild outside.
It's pretty wild. And what they do this morning, they came out and put a third layer of fencing because they got through the fencing yesterday.
Yep, this is what their democracy looks like, guys.
And that's what they're threatening you with too. By the way, that when they gaslight you, they're telling you, hey, if we don't win, that's what your America is going to look like, because they're going to make it look like that.
Speaking of gaslighting is the theme. I don't care what you say. Here's what Michelle Obama had to say last night, because her and Barack were a couple of the main speakers from last night. Here's what she had to say, just a snippet.
We will never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth. If we bankrupt a business or choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance.
Let me ask you something real quick. She goes, when we bankrupt a business, who is we? Just kind of, anyway, let's keep going.
If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. No.
Really?
We don't get to change the rules so we always win.
Yes, you do.
If we see a
did.
mountain in front of us, we don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top.
Yes, you do.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They see the gaslighting right there? And what it anyway, it almost makes me speechless. But the Democrat Party's platform reveals how the leftists want to use the DOJ to control state elections. I mean, they sit there and gaslight you and tell you, hey,
That we don't get to
that we
change
don't
the
get
rules.
to change the rules. But that's all they do, and that's how they
That's
did
exactly
in
what they
2020.
did in 20. That's exactly what they did. And what's crazy is they want to sit here now, and what I've seen from this DNC so far is they're literally standing up there campaigning and acting as though the last 3.5 years never happened, and President Trump is the incumbent.
I know.
Is this insane to you?
It is insane. They keep saying that President Trump did all this stuff, but it was actually them. You know, and the Democrat Party platform calls for the Department of Justice to intervene in elections across the country, supposedly in the interest of voting rights. The party released its platform Sunday ahead of the already contentious Democratic National Convention in Chicago. It boasts the Department of Justice has more than doubled staff to enforce so-called voting rights laws. The document also calls for passage of the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act, which, as Jonathan Tobin previously explained in The Federalist, would allow the federal government to intervene anywhere in the country to overrule local or state authorities when the left claims election discrimination against minorities.
There you go.
Is what they're after. And this is what they're up there gaslighting you about.
Yep.
Hey, they're gonna strong arm everywhere. Every election, including Texas, including Florida. It's going to be rough, folks. It's going to get bad. They have turned the Department of Justice on the people because they want to stay in power. That's how bad they are.
And look, we want to tell you, we don't come to you fear-mongering. We do come with a little bit of cynicism because we see what goes on, man. So we do come to you with a little bit of cynicism. But we come to you with hope, too, that, hey, man, if we go out here and we do the things the right way and we get the support and we get the votes, there's no way they can deny what happened again. Okay? The gaslighting strong, remember? Here comes Big Mike's old man to come out here and with his statement.
Now, it won't be easy. The other side knows. It's easier to play on people's fears and cynicism, always has been. They will tell you that government is inherently corrupt, that sacrifice and generosity are for suckers. And since the game is rigged, it's okay to take what you want and just look after your own. That's the easy path. We have a different task. Our job is to convince people that democracy can actually deliver.
So you see what he sat there and said, that they want to play, the other side wants to play on people's fears and cynicism. And the other side will tell you government is inherently corrupt. Damn, government is inherently corrupt.
Yes.
We talk about this every single day. Not
we
just me and you.
mentioned to you what government is doing to you in our elections.
Well, yeah, not just me and you, but hell, every news media out there will tell you how corrupt. These people show you how corrupt they are. They come out and they talk about the things that the Republicans will sit there and lie to you and tell you that they're going to do these things. Has President Trump ever come out and said that he's going to ban IVF?
No.
But that
is a lie.
That seemed to be a big talking point last night.
That was their main talking point. It was that and the fact that the people think the government's corrupt, which is true.
How How many times have you heard President Trump come out there and go, hey, when you elect me, I'm going to become your dictator?
Never.
Have you ever heard him say sacrifice is for suckers?
No.
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 None of
this.
But this is,
Yeah, but they go up there and, the thing is, folks, they lie to you. They lie to their voters. If you vote for this just because, hey, this is historical. I mean, that's what you did with Obama, and look what he did to the country. He was supposed to be an historical president,
a uniter.
A uniter. Same thing Biden said. He was a uniter as well. But that's false. He has divided us tremendously, and it's become about you're a racist, or you are a billionaire. Well, I can guarantee you that I'm not a billionaire, and nor am I racist. I get sick of hearing over and over what I am when I know I'm not.
Right.
And another thing that's going on in America, and we keep bringing it up over and over again, is our elections in 2020, and the fact that it's coming out, and this is why they're bringing up, well, we got the Department of Justice going to take care of our elections and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? Arizona has come out, and they have a law that requires proof of citizenship for the 2024 election. But the Biden-Harris DOJ asked the Supreme Court of the United States to keep Arizona from requiring proof of citizenship for 2024. And this is an article that I have from the Federalist by Sean Fleetwood.
Yeah, and this happened last Friday. It said the Biden-Harris Department of Justice requested that the Supreme Court deny Republicans' bids to enforce an Arizona law requiring individuals to prove they're U.S. citizens when registering to voting in elections. The whole audacity of that statement, that's unbelievable.
Yes.
We're going to go to this. I'm going to go to the judge and go, hey, ignore this law over here, man.
That the states brought themselves.
Ignore this law.
Ignore it. And it was brought, it became a law in 2022. And it mandated residents to show documentary proof of citizenship when registering via state voter registration forms. The statute also required such proof for individuals submitting mail-in ballots and voting in presidential contests. Okay, so this is the one little tidbit that they didn't want to happen. They don't care what happens in the state. But when it comes to federal presidential elections and any federal elections, they want the right to have anybody vote.
Well,
and to have dead people vote, and to have people that move from state to state to vote.
Yeah, the RNC and Arizona's GOP legislative leadership filed an emergency application with the Supreme Court on August the 8th, asking the justices to place a stay on the lower Ninth Circuit's court's decision and allow the law's documentary proof of citizenship requirements to take effect for the 2024 election. Nearly half of the country's state attorney generals and several conservative organizations have since filed amicus briefs with the high court requesting a stay to be issued. And in Biden's filings on Friday, it said applicants are not entitled to a stay and encouraged the court to deny such a request. Specifically, they argued that judicial intervention at this stage would undermine the orderly administration of the election, risking the disenfranchisement of thousands of voters who have already registered to vote using the federal form. And you read that and you go, damn, you just disenfranchised 14 million voters.
Oh. You disenfranchised all of Americans.
Exactly.
Every American there is. And that's another thing that we forgot to mention, because we need to pass the SAVE Act in Congress. I don't for a minute think that this will happen. Not for a second.
But it needs to happen.
But it needs to happen, because it will stop illegals from voting in the federal elections or any elections whatsoever.
Task and purpose? Call your House of Representatives. Call your senators with the numbers that we gave you earlier. 202-224-3121, 202-225-3121. Call and demand your senators and your House of Representatives pass the SAVE Act. Yes.
They're going to do a CR anyway. Why not just throw that in there? Throw it in there and shut the government down if it doesn't happen. That will show us how serious you are about our elections.
Tell you somebody that's getting serious about the elections, and that's the state of Georgia.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of Georgia. I am just excited about this. But the Biden administration and the Kemps of the world and the Raffenspergers of the world who don't want a free and fair election, sometimes I don't know if they necessarily want it or if they just don't want to admit how horrible their elections are and how they don't know how to do their job. But I'm not really understanding all this. But, everyone knows we've been talking about Fulton County had roughly 375,000 images that weren't found. There was no ballot images for 375,000.
Yeah, the article says roughly, but it was 380,761.
He's got that great memory on that. And there was a complaint. And according to the complaint, there are 17,852 missing ballot images from the recount. Statewide, there were 1.7 million ballot images missing or destroyed after the election. But by McGowan's own admission, Georgia does not have a paper trail to justify its results. And the Secretary of State office passed the blame off to Fulton County, which they said used improper procedures during the machine recount. They never addressed how it was their own office that ordered Fulton to reconcile the count when it was off by over 17,000. Yes, they did send its results to an outside group, but that was okay because he was a paid consultant. According to the memorandum, the investigators did not produce publicly. It was the same for all their claims. Nothing was made public, and the complaints were not allowed to address the board. Outside a 2-minute public comment period, investigate yourselves, keep the findings hidden, and allow no rebuttal. Nice work if you can get it. I mean, seriously, they did not want you to know what was going on. They really failed in 2020. I don't trust them in 2022 or any other time. I mean, maybe you should check on the 22 election because something is not right here in Denmark.
What we are learning and what we've learned is that the evidence shows Trump won Georgia. That was a problem for the powers to be. So the count was dragged out and the results were exchanged in order to create margins necessary for Biden to overcome a landslide defeat. 380,761 missing ballots unaccounted for. Where are those ballots?
Yeah. Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. We couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.